Most people start their business for one single reason, and that is freedom. But right now you work 12 to 16 hour days. You're living in constant stress and chaos, and it seems like no matter what you try to do, you can't scale whatsoever. And if you take one step off the gas, the entire business fails, and it feels like your own 9 to 5. Well, after coaching over 100 entrepreneurs to scale faster while working less, using mental performance systems, I've developed a system any entrepreneur can follow to work only 4 to 6 hours a day while scaling the fastest, so you can have the most freedom and as much free time as possible. So if you can just give me a few minutes to go over the system, I'll show you everything and exactly how to implement it. Okay, let's dive in. So this is the exact path to scaling faster online with your business without working the 12-hour days. And I can guarantee if you follow this system, people will call you unemployed simply because you just don't work as much, but they don't have a clue how fast you're actually scaling. And you can see here, I usually just work around 6 hours a day, maybe 7, 8, because honestly I just enjoy working most of the time. So sometimes like here I can work a lot, and I've been able to make thousands of dollars online following this exact system, and the same is for my clients. And so the first thing I want to go over with you is when most entrepreneurs fail, and it comes down to one simple word, and you've probably heard it before, it's prioritization. Because the reason why most entrepreneurs just don't make any money online is because they work on tasks that are completely random compared to what actually moves the needle. Instead of making YouTube videos for their content work, they spend time changing the banner or changing the profile picture. Instead of taking sales calls, they go through this weird funnel that doesn't even work for them. And so the main thing that will allow you to work less but also scale much faster is one, getting rid of everything that doesn't matter that you're currently doing, and also prioritizing the things that matter and putting all your energy and time into them. Because if you prioritize properly, you would be able to work just a few hours a day and still have a functional business. Because let's be honest, if you just stop working for one day, I guarantee your business will just stop making money, right? What you need to stop being like is a sniper instead of the machine gunner. Instead of spreading your energy across all these different tasks inside your day, spread your energy across one. Instead of posting on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, bloody Facebook, and all these different social media apps, just post on YouTube. And I guarantee once you stop prioritizing things that matter, you actually start making much more money online, and you might have to work half the time you do currently. But here's the kicker though, most entrepreneurs just don't even know the most important tasks inside their business, so they work on everything. They say to themselves, okay, if we just work on everything, we'll just get the most results. But really, it doesn't work like that. You need to work on the priority tasks and just pour your energy into them, instead of working on the things that don't matter. If they started working on the things that actually mattered and removed everything else, they would have all the free time in the world, they would make the most money online, and they could finish their entire to-do list by 3 p.m. And it's just like my client Chris, who went from being super overwhelmed, starting work at 8 a.m. and then finishing at 10 p.m. or even later, to finishing at 2 p.m. And all we did was figure out what tasks actually moved the needle the most, what he needed to work on, then optimize for a state of flow, and boom, he's literally cut his work time in half just by doing that. And so I'm basically just saying all of this to make sure you understand the reason why you're not scaling right now and you're working so many hours but you're not seeing results is because you're not prioritizing correctly. And this system really does work. It's not just a gimmicky hack that I give to my clients, or you can just try and it just doesn't give results. It's consistent and it's predictable, and it works to every single person watching this video. And so I just want to change your paradigm a bit here, because right now you're in this overworking business model, right? This business model that every single entrepreneur is going through, where it's just long work hours, barely any free time, no sleep or focus, making no money online. And then you've got what I call the unemployed business model. This is basically when you to work like 4 to 6 hours a day, you make the most money, and it gets to the point where people call you unemployed because you just have so much free time in the world, right? You work 4 to 6 hours a day, you have too much free time, you have peak mental performance levels, and you're scaling past 10k per month by doing that. This is what we started the business for, not for overworking and working 16-hour days. Because honestly, if I was doing that, I would just work a 9 to 5 instead. And so what I want to bring you is the unemployed business model. This is the model I've taught to all of my clients and I follow on a daily basis. This isn't just something I teach, this is something I do as well. And essentially what it is it's when you first find and outline the priority tasks inside your business. And this simply just means finding the tasks that generate the most results for you in as least time as possible. And so this first step in this process, it will probably take around 30 minutes to an hour just to find and outline the priority tasks inside your business, but I'm telling you right now, it's 100% worth it. And what really helped me do this is just visually map out my entire business. So I just open Miro, which I'm basically what I'm recording here with, and I just ask myself, okay, what task here drives everything else the most? And then I just literally just doubled down on that and got rid of everything else that didn't matter. And then suddenly my routine was kind of just free. I didn't have to work half as much. And once you've done that, maybe you spent like an hour or maybe 2 hours on it, you want to work on them as soon as you wake up. and you want to do around 4 hours of deep work every single day. That's the bare minimum. The reason why I say to work as soon as you wake up is because this is when you're going to have the most energy. This is when you're going to reach flow state the most, and it's going to set the baseline and expectation for the entire day. If you work in the first 30 minutes of when you wake up, you're going to work most of the day, or at least 4 hours, okay? But if you scroll and you just do all these little morning routine habits as soon as you wake up, it's going to probably ruin your focus a bit when you're working. So make sure you work as soon as you wake up. What really helps me though is I just take a quick cold shower that spikes your cortisol levels, which basically means you're going to be more focused and alert. And it also reduces your melatonin levels, which is for sleep, and also just feeling tired. And so once you've done that, once you've done your 4 hours of deep work, and you can also just work slowly to this point, if you feel like you cannot do 4 hours of deep work right now, just do 2 to 3 and start with that, and then slowly build yourself up. Once you've done that though, it's just all about optimizing that for flow state throughout. So you want to make sure these 4 hours of work are in flow. Flow state is basically this altered state of consciousness where you're 5% more productive, you feel and perform at your best, and work feels effortless to complete. This is something you want to strive to achieve, and this is exactly what my client Chris actually achieved himself as well. He gets into flow state for around 4.5 hours or maybe 5 hours sometimes, and that's basically 5 times more productive than the usual person working. And I've made tons of videos on actually how to get into flow state, and so I'll probably just link some below. But essentially what you want to do is just make sure you have peak concentration, you have good clarity on the task, you have a good environment, you have a perfect challenge to skill ratio on the task at hand, and you also follow the 4-stage cycle inside of flow state, which is struggle, release, flow, and recovery. Like I said, watch one of my newest videos on this if you want to learn more about flow state, but I would say just make sure you focus on this first before you do that, okay? And I've put Node ETA here because it may take it quite a while to actually get to this point, and it may take quite a while to actually learn how to get into flow state. The last step we want to follow is just remove unnecessary tasks that do not matter. Literally just do a task audit where you look at all the tasks you do and work on inside your business, and if something just doesn't fit and you just feel like it doesn't matter, just remove it, okay? That's exactly what I do myself. And once I started doing this, my work hours went from 16-hour days to 6 hours a day or 10 hours a day, which honestly I don't really mind working because it's just so fun, especially when you tap into flow state, okay? If you do all this, you will have the foundation and you can start to improve your mental performance. So this is things like your sleep, this is things like your focus, this is things like your flow state, this is things like your active recovery inside the day. All these little things you can optimize, but honestly, I think what you should do is first just focus on these steps here and then start to optimize your mental performance. So this is honestly the entire system I wanted to share with you, which is the unemployed business model, which is basically where you just work as little as possible and you make the most money online. If you follow the system, I guarantee you will reach that result. And I know this was a very short video, but if you implement the systems, this is honestly all you need to do and you'll get results just like Chris here did, okay? And by the way, if you're an entrepreneur who wants to get into a flow state for 6+ hours a day, blow up your business by working less, click the first link in the description or the pinned comment to join my free community. We get a free coaching call and a free flow state course, and you can start to implement this unemployed business model system, okay? Have an amazing day. Peace.